welcome to Ask Win, everyone. This afternoon, I have Alex with me. So, without further ado, I'm going to let Alex take it away.
Hey, everyone. My name is Alex Kiff, and I'm excited to be here. I'm a podcaster. I run a top-rated podcast on iTunes called Soul Feed. I also am a youth and young adult pastor in San Diego, and do a lot of things. Overcame cancer and just have been around the block.
Been around the block 1,000 times, overcoming cancer, my God. So, okay, Alex, when were you diagnosed with cancer, and how come you're walking miracle?
Yeah, well, I was diagnosed my senior year of college, and I was going to go to Broadway and do all these, amazing things. But my senior year of college, I was studying music and singing, and my voice all of a sudden sounded like this, and I couldn't speak for essentially that whole year, and figured out that I had cancer. So not only did it sort of rob me of my voice then, but it also really awakened this sense of deeper questions and yearnings, like, who am I? Why am I here? Like, what am I doing with my life? All that kind of stuff. And put me on a path really to discovering answers to those things. And so, that's really affected what I do today. And, they told me I had a 15 to 30% chance. They told me I'd never sing again. And thankfully, with God's help, I beat all that. So, hallelujah.
Well, did you use the traditional methods? Of course you did. You're out in LA, which is very cutting edge. And so you did all the traditional medications for cancer, which is chemo and all that good stuff, all that cocktail of medications, or did you just take the alternative medicine route and let cancer, in a sense, do its work until it got out of you? I mean, listening here, talking today, and when was it? When did your cancer get in remission?
Yeah, so I've been in remission now for about 5 years, and it was kind of a combination of both. I did go through treatment, 6 rounds of chemotherapy. They told me after that everything would be good, and then they figured out it wasn't. And so from there, I had to have a stem cell transplant, which essentially rebooting a computer, except it's your body, So they basically drain everything out of you, and then they kind of restart the body and put in some new blood, hoping that it repopulates in a way that's going to kill all the cancer, but also reproduce healthy cells. And that's when, the percentages are really, really low. But throughout all that time, I had really changed everything about the way I ate, just kind of people I was hanging, what I was focusing on, and also there was a huge component of prayer from myself and sort of a community outside of myself where, I had, it was called the Kindness Card Challenge, where my sister set this up, and right when I was getting my stem cell transplant, 1,000 cards started pouring in, just all basically prayers about, hope you get better, I hope you get better, all this stuff. And I didn't actually know that this was going to happen. She surprised me with this, and we ended up having over 1,600 cards pour in. So I think that, had a lot to do with it as well. So I'd say it was kind of a combination of all that stuff, and who knows what made the biggest difference, but I think it was all useful and helpful.
Now, okay, if you don't mind me asking, you
Sure.
did anything stupid before you got cancer that led to your cancer. You weren't one of those college students that tried something stupid and then got cancer because of it.
No, it was one of those things where, they're like, we have no idea how you get this. We have no idea really why anybody gets this kind that you have. I would say that I was a very, stressed individual, as most college kids are, but, and I didn't eat like necessarily like really, really healthy, but I was very fit. I was always in the gym and all that stuff. And so it's hard to say that like, what caused it necessarily, but, no, there wasn't any like direct correlation medically between something I was doing in my life that caused it to happen.
And Alex, and I apologize to the people listening, if they can hear that phone in the background. Lovely. Tell them I should just call me landline. So, Alex,
okay.
What is your favorite book? What is your favorite book that you would recommend to all my listeners? It could be an audiobook. It could be a book.
Well, my favorite book actually is the Bible. That's one of my favorite books. But I try not to read it in the way that most people read it, which is, with a lot of judgment and fear and all this other stuff. But yeah, I'd definitely say that's my favorite book.
So it's the paperback version and the audio version. Alex, you threw us both a bowl. You gave us both formats in one book. And so what has been your favorite podcast episode you have done of your podcast? I know I'm asking pick the favorite child question, but I want to make sure my listeners get a good feeling of your podcast.
Yeah, I'd say the most interesting episode I ever did was with Deepak Chopra, who many people know. And that was live in New York. We interviewed him live. And it was a very interesting episode. I love that one. And now listening back to it, it's even more interesting because there's even a lot of things I don't even necessarily agree with, but it's still cool that I was able to have a conversation with him and really, kind of dig into some things.
How did you swing that one?
Well, we had a lot of different people on the show already who were sort of bigger names like Marianne Williamson, Gabby Bernstein, Mastin Kitt, people like that in sort of that spiritual space. And so we had a mutual friend who knew him, and I had met him at an event, and I just said, hey, we've had people like this on, could we interview you? What do you think? And he was like, yeah, sounds great. And so we were already in New York, and so it was easy to kind of set up, and that happened. So, yeah.
Well, man, you're lucky ducky to interview one of the biggest names in the spiritual community. Jeez. And were you so shocked? Were you
I'm sorry?
so shocked or calm as a cucumber when he answered your questions?
Can you ask me one more time? Sorry, I was just having a hard time hearing.
Were you so shocked or calm as a cucumber when he answered your questions?
Yeah, again, I think at the time I was pretty like, oh, wow, I'm interviewing Deepak Chopra, this is so cool and a little nerve-wracking. But now, if I were to have a conversation with him again, I'd probably just be really calm. And again,
Yeah.
like, it's interesting, like, there's just a lot of things that, I don't necessarily even agree with anymore that he says, which is totally fine, So it's interesting how we all evolve, and how at one point I thought, a certain way of thinking about spirituality was very real and concrete, and now I see that there are, other ways of thinking about it too that are just as real and concrete and historical and accurate and all those things. So it's interesting. It's always an interesting evolution when you're going on a spiritual journey.
Okay. Well, you said you're a youth pastor out in San Diego, which means working with the 20s and 30s. Well, 30s doesn't count anymore. My age doesn't count anymore. It's the 20s and the teens that do count. And so what's been your favorite moment in all that?
Oh, man, I think my favorite moment with all that is just seeing people connect to, something much bigger than themselves and making them feel and know that, they can have a relationship with God that is beyond just, this sort of idea that, oh, God is some universal force that just kind of responds to if I'm feeling good or if I'm feeling bad, and that, no, he's, can have a relationship with him, and it just, it's amazing to see people's lives change when they realize that and they go deeper into sort of what it means to be loved by God and to enter into a relationship with him.
Now, Alex, if you had to be educated by anyone, inside or outside your field, who would it be and why?
Alive or dead?
You pick.
I pick, okay. I really like, if I was going to say alive, I really like Todd White. He's really cool. He's a great guy. He's sort of like an evangelist kind of guy, but really just preaches about love, and the love that we all find and have. If it was dead, it would definitely be Jesus. I think it would be really cool to actually meet him and talk with him and, sit with him.
And so what would you ask these people?
Oh, man. I would ask them all kinds of things. I'd ask them Todd White, it's interesting now. You can listen to podcasts and you can kind of get their perspective on most things. I think with Todd White, I would just like to hang out with him just to kind of ask him how he just people in a way that's so loving and non-threatening, but also most of these people he approaches are strangers, which I really like. With Jesus, though, I would have all kinds of questions, is it all true? What, is there anything in here that's not true? How did you do it? There's just endless stuff.
Yes, there's endless things you could ask that person. And
yeah,
why are we walking miracles when it's supposed to be dead? Alex, you and I are supposed to be dead, by the way, and we're still here kicking.
Yes, Lord, yes.
Oh, geez. We're still here kicking. I'm still kicking with cerebral palsy. You're kicking in your second life, I guess, and the remission of cancer. Geez. And so I guess a higher power put us on this planet for some reason.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And so where can people find your podcast, and how often do you do it?
They can find it on iTunes if they just search Soul Feed, which is one word, Soul Feed. We release a new episode every month. It ranges from topics like meditation to spirituality to yoga to, all kinds of stuff. And I actually started it with a co-host of mine. His name's Shannon. And so we switch off every week. And yeah, you can search that on iTunes. You can go to my website, alexskip.com, to find out more of this stuff and more about sort of where my focus is spiritually and, you know, how I'm impacting people and how people are impacting other people. And yeah, those are some great places, resources you can check out.
And I know you have a couple questions for me because people always come out of the woodwork and ask me questions. And so I know you have a couple questions for me. Even if you don't, that's fine. But go ahead and ask me those questions.
Well, how did you get involved with all this and started with all this?
Oh, I wrote a little book. That little book is called I Come a Win, and I'm trying to decide right now, you guys, whether I should publish my last and final autobiography or just see how it goes with this publisher I'm with. I'm actually with a publisher. They use the crowdfunded method, and so, yeah. And so they kind of forgot about me, and so now I'm wondering how I should publish this book. But I've been approached by 2 editors, and one editor said, okay, I'll do it for you, but she wants to do it for a steep amount of money. And it's like, yeah, I'm on a teacher's budget, and I love that you dearly, but you're not going to get that. And then the other one, I don't know how much she wants to do it, but eventually I want to quit my day job, which my day job actually listens to this podcast and then can kill me when I say this, because I want to be a full-time author. So this is the year for me to be a full-time author going into 2019 and beginning 2018, and that's what I'm putting out to the universe, and hopefully the universe responds in a good way. But I really want to get off the teacher's salary, not because I don't love teaching, it's because we're in the jobs of service hours. I mean, you probably get a smaller paycheck than I do. You pastoring, Jesus, knowing me, my paycheck seems big to you. And so we're in the service of serving people. I serve kids, you serve teens. And so I really want to be off that living paycheck to paycheck. I just have to figure out how to deal with this book. And that's going to be my big dilemma this week, how to deal with this book. Now, I have 2 other books in the process right now, which are going smoothly. This one, not so much. Not so much. But I will figure it out, and with hope and prayer, I will figure it out. And so, to answer your original question, how I got into all this is I wrote a book. I wrote my memoir at age 23, 24, and my podcast spun off me writing books. The book became a #1 bestseller. It still sells to this day, and that's how I got all into all this stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, I'm hoping that everything works out with this new journey you're on.
Well,
it's amazing. Congratulate you.
Well,
for
I'm
going there.
hoping that it does, and then we'll see what it says. Right now, I have 2 books that I'm working on, and then one is supposedly being represented by an agent. That one is getting all the work, and then I have to decide what to do with my last and the final autobiography before I shut the doors on autobiographies, because I'm a better novelist, you guys, than doing an autobiography on myself, which that was a whole can of worms that started this whole thing. So maybe with hoping someone would come up with a genius answer to help me here, but I'm not expecting any of you guys to come up with the genius answer. I'm expecting to do this work all by myself, and I am going to be honest with you guys right now. Being a self-published author is not easy. Not easy in the least, especially when your books don't sell. I mean, they get published, everyone crowds around them, and then they don't do anything. So that's the dilemma I'm having right now. I mean, really, and that's really. And it's like, really, you guys? Really? You seem to think that I can do this on my own, and really I can't. And I'm sorry to get emotional about it, but I really can't do this on my own without your help. That's the simple fact. Well, anyway, that's the can of worms that started this podcast about stemming from me writing a book, and now I'm at my wit's end as to figure out. I have my job for one more year, actually 2 more years, 2018 and 2019, but I want to make a living off my book, and you guys do that. But the way I publish, and Alex knows that too now, and the way I publish books, you guys seem to crowd around me like there's no tomorrow, and then you guys seem to not do anything and not promote the books and not promote anything that I do. And it's really, really, really frustrating. And I'm at the point of giving up. I'm literally at the point of giving up my publishing career and my publishing dreams. And for those of you who hear this, I'll stay in education until the day I die. I mean, it's for those of you that hear this and want me to publish books, you're going to have to support independent published authors. We can't do it on our own. We can't do it on our own. I mean, we can't. We just can't. I mean, Amazon is wonderful, but we just can't do it on our own. So if Alex, you want to write a book, go ahead, but be my guest. And if anyone that wants to write a book, go ahead, be my guest, but just realize you're going to have to be your own marketing team, and you're going to have to literally have your friends and family share it, and your social media share it, and everything else, because we can't do it. We can't do it, and I'm at my wit's end. We can't promote to the youth if no one wants to be there helping the youth succeed in Alex's case, youth pastor. And in my case, I can't do the work that you guys want me to do when you guys do not buy my books. My bank account is empty. Thank God for my paycheck, but I'm sorry for my typewriter. But the work I'm doing is pointless because you guys are not buying my books. You guys are not supporting my books. And this is the last I'll say about it. And maybe next year you guys will turn a new leaf, and so I can try again. But so far, I am not having the success I wanted. And now I have one book that I'm working on underneath the publisher, but because it's a small publisher, I need to pay for that small publisher to work with me. And that's not hefty, that's not a small fee. And my editor, who I talked to today, wants $1,000 out of me, and I don't have $1,000. I have a teacher's paycheck, and I won't pay my paycheck on this podcast, but you can only imagine working with a teacher's paycheck trying to promote the work that you guys want me to promote, and with Facebook and its dance and its changing the algorithm, Facebook is not helping. Thank you, Zuckerberg. You're not helping. You're not helping businesses. You're not helping the youth pastors of these small churches promote on Facebook to get people in the door, to get milk feed, and to get these people paid.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing all that, Win. It's definitely get frustrating. I think we all need a team, right? We all need support, and we all need a community that we can come to and bear our griefs and also, be supported. So if you don't mind, I'd love to just maybe pray for your situation before we get off this call, and and
please
connect after that. All right. Well, Father, we just thank you for Wynn. We thank you for her heart, Lord, that she's so passionate about spreading her message to people who really need to hear it. God, we just pray for her to be strengthened in this time, in this new journey, in this new season, God, that she would come to know you and your perfect love, and that she could just rest and rely on that solely, Father. And we ask for a team to just come and support her and lift her up in her times of struggles. And we just, we look forward to all the blessings that you're going to pour out on her when she comes to know everything that she's been looking for was always found in you, God. And we just thank you, Father, for this opportunity to connect. We thank you for listeners, her community, and everyone who has been inspired by her vulnerability and honesty today. And we just ask for those people to continue supporting her and lifting her up and loving her when times are hard and when times seem desperate. So in Jesus' name, we pray all these things, and I am so thankful that we got to connect, Wynn. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Alex, and thank you for listening to my tirade.
Of course.
But the fact of the staff and to get youth in the door to the churches and to get me publishing books, you guys need to support these small independent churches. I don't know how big your congregation is, Alex, but you guys need support. You guys need to quit supporting the big mega churches. I know for a fact near San Diego is one of the big mega churches, Pastor Rick Horn, and I know that Saddleback Church, and you guys need to quit supporting the mega churches, Joel Osteen, and support the little guys. And support the little guys. How are we going to get to know higher power, higher spirit, whatever you call them, God? Let's just stay back there. If you guys keep supporting these big mega churches, and they don't care. They don't care. They just want your money, and they just want their thing. And I'm sorry, but it's something that I believe that people should start supporting the little guys when it comes to churches, and they should start supporting the independent creators, whether it be authors, whether it be artists, whether it be musicians, you name it. If they're independent creators, start supporting them.
Amen.
I mean, Alex says amen, because these mega churches are not going to help anyone. I don't know if these mega churches even have youth pastoring now. I keep seeing Pastor Rick Warren on TV and Joel Osteen on TV too, and I don't even think these mega churches, you know, the one Joel Osteen took over basketball stadium or hockey stadium at one point. I don't know what he took over, whether it was a basketball stadium or a hockey stadium at one point. But Pastor Rick Warren, the last time I sat in a satellite with his church service, he was trying to raise funds to make the church, to make Saddleback Church bigger in Irvine, California. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm out of there. I am completely out of there because you guys, they don't want to support the independent creators, and I'll probably get hate mail for this one. But there's no way these mega churches want to support the independent creators, and there's no way. And the work you're doing as a youth pastor, I commend. I taught Sunday school for, was it 4 years? 4 years. No, I started teaching Sunday school, so I taught Sunday school for 4 years, and that I will never do that again. I will never do that again. Too much.
Yeah,
All I'm doing is no the paycheck, and so
yeah, and that's not what I do either. But yeah,
you do it with a paycheck, and so no, and so when we get those Sunday school teachers in there, you guys, and I hate to bring up faith here on this podcast, but those Sunday school teachers are doing it on a volunteer basis. Thank you very much, because I was one. I did it, and now I will never do that again. I'm teaching for the money, but I'm always going to be an independent published author. But you guys have got to support the independent public, the independent authors, the independent creators, and especially the smaller independent churches, because they're not giving a high paycheck either. When you go into the paycheck of God, you're not getting a high paycheck either. And I know that, Alex. About that. And so you guys have got to either, you've got to support the people that you want to support and quit buying from Barnes & Noble. I know I did a fucking squawk about that one, but you've got to quit buying the big New York Times best-selling books. I'm sorry, but they're making money hand over fist, and we're all, as independent artists, struggling. Alex is an independent artist, even though he won't admit it, because all podcasters are independent artists. All music creators are independent artists. All independent actors are independent artists as well. I mean, this podcast, this story is actually alive. I have a colleague who gave up his acting career for education. He literally gave up his acting career to go into education. So if that says something right there, so you guys have got to start supporting the independent actors, the small churches, the small independent artists, and podcasters are independent artists, and Alex and I are trying to show you the way. And so if you want to walk and turn this podcast off, fine. But you have got to start supporting me, have got to support Alex's work, have got to support everyone you know. And I have given my email address out several times, and it's in the show notes. My phone number is plastered all over the place. You guys have my phone number. It's not about me helping you. It's not about Alex helping you either, even though he doesn't. It's about us working together as a team. Thank you very much. And end of my tirade.
Wow, that was awesome. Way to go, Win.
Yeah, well, I had to do it. I mean, here we are.
I'd say there are probably a lot of people listening, who also do support as well. So thank you guys for supporting.
Thank you guys.
Smaller things in a sense, but also I think what you're really getting at is that sometimes it's easy to be fooled by the illusion of big names and big titles and New York Times best-selling authors and all this stuff. And if we could really just see the heart of most people, then, we may throw our support in different areas and in different ways. So, I don't know the intentions of all mega churches. I don't know the intentions of all pastors or all best-selling authors, but I do know that, when you really just start to evaluate your own heart and the heart of others, then your decisions in terms of who you support and where you put your money become a little easier.
Exactly. And you summed it up beautifully. And as I said, thank you for listening to me tirade, everyone. And thank you for listening to Alex join in on my tirade. I realize that, but he's now laughing at me because I'm like, this is something I had to do, and I figured I might as well do it with Alex. End of my tirade. And Alex, where can people find you again?
Yeah, you can find me at alexkip, KIP.com, alexkip.com.
Well, I definitely appreciate you, and I definitely appreciate my team, and I hope my team gets even stronger in the next couple of weeks, and I hope my dilemma of this book comes to a spiritual head. Let's put it that way. I hope that something comes out of the mud situation I'm in right now, but we'll figure it out, and I will keep you guys updated as to what I decide to do, and if I have to publish it after graduation of journalism school, I will. hopefully not, but I will. But anyway, thank you, Alex, and I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode, and I hope those of you that do listen and know me personally don't come up to me and say, what were you doing on your podcast when I kind of listen to you? And you need to get knocked up in the head with a dark bed, which I'm sure you guys won't do to me. You guys love me more than that. But as Alex and I were saying, you guys need to understand people's haunts and people's values, and you need to understand the way of other people thinking, including your own, and we'll just leave it at that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll have all of Alex's information in the show notes, trust me. And this episode will be coming out on Thursday, and then we will see if I can produce an episode on Friday to help you guys out. But I appreciate your time. I appreciate Alex's time, and I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode. Thanks.
All righty. Still there, Wynn? You got it.